Hey guys, this is Apollo here, and it's time for a deck profile, specifically Daikaiser. Man, it has been a while, and welcome back, Daikaiser. You have returned. Okay, so I'm redoing this deck profile basically because the first version I made I wasn't really confident in doing that video, so I just want to redo it. So after a little more playtesting here and there, so with the reintroduction of Daikaiser in the standard format, it brings back the Legion mechanic, specifically the Legion, so which is a more toned down version of the original Legion mechanic to keep up with the standard format, and it is a really fun and really interesting way how this Daikaiser plays in this format. So without further ado, let's go on to the deck profile. Alright, so I'll go through the sprite deck first. So give me a sec. There we go. Right, starter. Just like Daikaiser, you make Cardfight, which is the base starter you need to use for that kind of skill. Kaiser Grader. So Kaiser Grader skill is exactly the same as Dailander, except switch out the Daiyusha for the Daikaiser. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, you may look at you may look at the deck for such a deck for up to one base card. Put your hand and shuffle the deck. Second skill, when this unit is placed from rear guard circle to soul, if you have a Daikaiser Greater Vanguard, for his turn, all your Vanguard gets 5,000 power, and this unit also gets 5,000 power as well. So essentially, this is just Daikaiser's version of Dailander, pretty much. And well, it does a jump right, but in the case, actually, it's Kaiser doing the chase. So yeah, the older deck profile has the normal deck where Kaiser I put in SR along with this as well, and from other decks in the deck. So Kaiser's skill, act on Vanguard circle once per turn. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 2 or greater, you can discard a card for hand, choose a Super Dimensional Robo Daikaiser from your right deck, and write as a stand. If you write, for this fight, you cannot write any other cards other than Dimensional Robos. Second skill, auto on Vanguard circle. Auto. When this unit is rolled upon by a Great Joker Daikaiser unit, you may call this card to Vanguard circle. Third skill, if your Vanguard is a Great Joker Greater Daikaiser, this unit gets boost. So essentially, this is your. It's basically the Die Dragon of Daikaiser in a sense, but it is what it is. And the main guy himself, it is Daikaiser. So here is how he goes. Act on Vanguard cycle, the Legion with Daiyusha, which I will go through a little bit more later on with about this guy. So to perform the Legion, you need to return 4 cards from a drop back to the deck, of which up to 2 of them can be triggers, which are not heals or overs. You return back to the deck, search for the specified card that you need to Legion this guy, perform the Legion of it, and as long as they're in the Legion state, they lose the personal right icon. This means the Daiyusha no longer has the personal right icon anymore when it Legions with Daikaiser. So if I were to put it simply, imagine this with personal right and Daiyusha personal right and all the shenanigans, which I'll explain more in a bit. So you know where this is going. Second skill, auto on Vanguard cycle once per turn. When this unit attacks and for the battle is not being boosted, you can Energy Blast 3. For this turn, this unit gets, at the beginning of Drive Step, choose one of your opponent's Guardians and retire it. Then, you Soul Blast a... if your Binder does not have a Cardfight, you can bind a Cardfight from a soul, and it gets the ability, when you retire your opponent's Guardian, the target Guardian with the effect that has been given to cannot be hit will be nullified. So meaning to say it just cancels PGs when you retire the PG. So meaning to say Daikaiser itself really gives the pressure on Daikaiser itself gives the pressure to make your opponent overguard, or in the case if to not throw the PGs or throw 2 PGs if they want to play safe. So it is very pressuring, but at times it's just like that. Usually you have to be very careful when to Soul Blast your Cardfight, because any like misjump in many miscalculation on that part will just result in it'll just snowball to the point that it's gonna get worse and worse. But honestly, it's really threatening compared to like Daiyusha in a sense. Right, so that's for the right deck. So let's go on to the main deck. So the main deck, I ran 2 copies of the Persona, well not Persona, but 2 copies of the actual Daikaiser itself. You will see why in a bit why I'm playing these 2 copies, and I think you should know by now. And your Legion mate, you need to run 2 copies of Daiyusha. So Daiyusha is the one that you need to Legion with Daikaiser like this. Yeah. So I will go through a little bit more on the uses because there is an errata that is very important for this card, and it does impact Daikaiser. Oh, it does impact Daikaiser some in a way. So here's the skill. So I'll go through the skill quickly. Auto Omega skill once per turn. When this unit attacks, you count +1, draw a card. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you choose any number of dimensional robots that are unique, and then you give them they get plus 5k power. Nothing special. That's the same thing. Now here's second skills for the one that I want to highlight a bit. So when this unit attacked, at the end of this unit attack, sorry, auto Vanguard once per turn. When this unit battle, this unit attacked, you can put one card in hand soul, reset a unit, and for this turn, all your Vanguards get drive -2. And if your Mindset does not have a Goyusha, and you do Persona Road this turn, you can bind your Goyusha from your soul, and for this turn, just this unit gets +1 drive. So take a look real quickly that there is an errata for Daikaiser. You can see the slight change here. So in the original version, which is this print, it just says for this turn, this unit gets drive -2. In the errata, which is in the reprint of the set, it says here that during his turn, all your Vanguards get drive -2. So even the old Daikaiser have this errata, so you cannot just say, oh, this Daikaiser has this one doesn't. No, it's not the case. It affects all that Daikaisers, even with the older prints. So it is really important that they have to do this errata system, because if it's two drives, and then single beat now maybe from playing Persona, right? It's even worse. But yeah, you see where this is going, right? So they had to make sure just they don't have to make it go out of hand. Alright, so next off, I play 4 Shadow Kaisers. Shadow Kaiser skill. Act on drop. If your Vanguard is a Daikaiser grade 3, and you did not write this turn, you survive 1, bind this card, sorry, and you search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 or greater Daikaiser, write it stand, and shuffle the deck. So I mean, say you can actually Legion, perform D-Legion again by using Shadow Kaiser skill. Second skill, continuous on Rigor Circle. If your Vanguard is a grade 2 or greater Daikaiser, this unit gets 5,000 power. If your Order Zone has 3 or more bases, instead of 5k, it gets 10k instead. First skill, auto, rearguard, or hand. If your Vanguard is a dimensional robo, you can put this card. Sorry, if your Vanguard is a dimensional robo and it's been attacked, you can put this card into the drop, and for that attack, this unit gets for battle for that 10k power. And there's a reminder text, okay, not this one, but there's a reminder text on this saying that this has to be done before you call Guardians or Intercepts. So make sure you don't make that the wrong move, or else you can get called out by the judges and whatever. But you get my point. Okay, and next, last criteria run, I have 2 Daiwing. So Daiwing, I would say it's alright. I mean, it's I'm only mainly running for the shield, plus maybe in a very rare case I was able to call that battle from soul and just put it back to soul. But other than that, he's not really doing much, at least. But I'll go to both of them real quickly. So Daiwing skill, when this unit is based on regressive for hand, if your Vanguard is a dimensional robo, you energy blast 3. You choose a card dimensional robo from soul and call the rear circle. At the end of the turn, put that called unit back in the soul. Second skill, continuous on rearguard and guardian circle. If your order zone has a base, this unit gets 5,000 power, 5,000 shield. If it has 3 bases, this unit gets another 5k power and 5k shield. So mainly for shield, but I would say it's also really there for to recycle back your battles in a way in your soul. So that's it for the grade 3s. Now for the grade 2s. Grade 2s, pretty straightforward. So you do need to run Die Lady. So Die Lady is really important in this deck because you still need to find your bases as fast as you can. So although Die base is not really utilized as greatly as Daikaiser, in fact Daikaiser is more revolving around the base. This one, on the other hand, just makes you filter your deck and just make sure you have the dimensional robo. So I think, in my honest opinion, I think Daikaiser will benefit the Die base more. But because this is dimensional robo, you still need to play Die base regardless. So Die Lady skill, when this unit is placed on Rigor Circle, if your Vanguard is in dimensional robo, you come +1, search your deck for a base card, put it in your hand, and shuffle the deck. Second skill, auto on Vanguard Circle, when this unit attacks a grade 2 or greater unit, if your order zone has 2 or more bases, for this battle, this unit gets 10 power. So it is 20 attacker and your base searcher. Here's a new guy. So this I play 3 Die Wreckings. Directing skill, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if your Vanguard is a dimensional robo, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck for a dimensional robo that's grade 3 or greater, or a set order, put it in your hand and shuffle the deck. If you put a card in your hand, you either put one card hand in your soul or discard it. Second skill, rearguard on guardian circle, continuous. If your Vanguard is a grade 2 or greater dimensional robo, and if your order zone has a base, you can use Final Power and Final Shield permanently. So this is your alternative way to find like your grade 3, especially like your Daikaisers, your Daikaiser, maybe you actually want to, but Nightwings also. So it is really important to find your stuff here and there. Okay, so now for the orders in the grade 2, I run 2 Freezing Wave. Freezing Wave is just simply because you're revolving on the base orders, so you definitely resting them. So you do need a shield power, which is pretty good. So Freezing Wave skill, to play it, you need to Soul Blast 1. Choose 100 units have been tagged, and for every rest card in the order zone, for that battle, this unit gets 10,000 power. So 2 of them is fine. And my Regal's piece of choice, I run 1 Twin Cast. Twin Cast skill, when you play it and this unit is being attacked, choose 100 units and it gets, for the battle, it gets 10,000 power. Second skill, so it can be played from a drop, and the auto still can be played even if it's already being played. So from drop, you remove it from the game and choose one of your units, and for every of I believe your Vanguard's okay, for every unit of it's great, it's 5 power. So essentially it's 15k shield. So there's that. Alright, that's it for the grade 1. Tier 2s, now for the grade 1s. So I played 2 Grandmakers. It is your Guard Restrict, which does pair very well with Daikaiser. Grandmaker skill, if your Vanguard has only 1 clan and you do not have a G zone, this unit gets all of the following abilities. Auto undrop. When a grade 3 is placed onto the Vanguard during your turn, if you don't have a same copy of her on the field, you can call her from drop to rearguard circle. Second skill, auto undrop. When this unit is boost, if your Vanguard is grade 2 or greater, for this battle, this unit, you can get either your opponent cannot guard with blitz orders, or they must guard 2 or more from hand at the same time. And at the end of that battle, you retire this unit. So your battle door effect, your guard restrict, really pairs well with Daikaiser. So I guess in a way, you can attack with Daikaiser first, use skill, then use Square Maker when you reset the Dayusha to boost your Square Maker, or you can do the other way around, which also works depending on the situation. So this is a very, very important card in the deck, and I'm glad I have 2 extra copies that I got from my Dayusha deck. Alright, so because you ran Dayusha as your Legion mate, you still need Die Battle. The first skill is not relevant because you're not playing the Dayusha right line. The second skill, I think, is the more important part. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle from Soul, if your Vanguard is a grade 2 or greater Dayusha and your opponent's Vanguard is grade 2 or greater, for this turn, your Vanguard's original critical comes 2. So in this case, it makes your Daikaiser have 2 crits. And it's very important because you need to give crit pressure to your opponent. I play only 1 Diamond as a tech, simply because it's only there for situations where the opponents can gain advantage from the intercepts. Diamond skill, first skill, when this unit is discarded during a turn, you can put this card from to Soul instead. Second skill, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle from Soul, if your Vanguard is a grade 2 or greater Dayusha, for this turn, this unit gets 2k, and your opponent cannot intercept for the end of the turn. So in some decks which rely on which intercepts gain advantage from intercepts, or even like decks that use like Defensing Roar or Eva, a few other decks around there that will get around of it. So Chimera is just a tech, so at least in the case I didn't counter that, this is the way that you can shut them off. And just another tech as well, I run Nonoka. Nonoka skill. Act on rearguard circle once per turn. If your Vanguard is a grade 2 or greater dimensional robo, you can Soul Blast 1 rest this unit, which helps the deck in case because it cannot attack while being boosted. So you Soul Blast 1, rest this card. Choose a dimensional robo from a draw that's different from this unit card name as this unit, and you can bot deck it. And for this turn, choose a dimensional robo unit and give it plus 5k power. So it is just a circular backer deck, and I would say, depending if you can't get Glory Maker at the time, this might come in handy, but 1 off I think is perfectly fine to me. I run 3 PGs. I mean, it's the Braven PG. It's Brian Gate. You can still play it regardless. One of the triple drive magnitude. Depending on the meta, you can play the crest magnitude or the triple drive magnitude. But in this case, I'm playing the triple drive magnitude. This was carried over from my Dayusha, by the way. And lastly, the main order itself, I forgot to put it earlier on, but I should put here, it is die base. So die base is still the main go-to order that revolves around the deck, and even then, even though it's not fully utilized as like Daikaiser, in my personal opinion, I think it's still important to play 4 copies in this deck. So this is set order, act on order zone. If your Vanguard is a dimensional robo, you can rest this card and you can stretch 1. You choose a dimensional robo from a good to a less dimensional robo from a drop and put in your soul. If you played this card this turn, instead of putting in switch from a drop, you switch from a deck instead. The second skill, act on order zone. If your Vanguard is a dimensional robo, EB2, rest this card, choose a grade 2 or less dimensional robo from a drop, that means your soul, and call the Radar Circle. So essentially, this helps you get pluses from your energy plus your regress on the board. Simple as that. Triggers, I mean, obviously the Brandy LT. Just like Daikaiser, there is not a reason for you to play the effect crits. I don't think it's necessary, at least in my honest opinion. So I play 8 of the vanilla crits, sorry. And depending on depending on your playstyle, if you want to be more aggressive, you can get you can play the fronts, but if you want to be a little more consistent, you can play the effect draws. And lastly, I play 4 of the vanilla heals. So yeah, that's it for my Daikaiser deck profile. So what do you guys think? Do you think is there anything you like want to know more about it, or is there any you want to comment on, or if you want to improve on? Do let me know. And well, that's it. Thank you guys for watching this deck profile. If you do like it, please do like, share, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos. I do love to hear feedback on this deck, so I do want to make Daikaiser really memorable deck to play with. So with that being said, that's it for my deck profile. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.